because the last thing we want to see is a war between Russia and America, especially a full-out war. Because there could be proxy wars, which is different from a direct war. Because I promise you, if we had like a direct war between the States and Russia, the world will never be the same again. Is this the beginning of World War III? Because I just received news that President Trump has ordered 2 nuclear submarines to be sent close to Russia, strategic positions close to Russia. And this is a response, according to him, this is a response to a threat made by a former president of Russia, who also serves in a major security council. So he says that he has to protect the interests of the American people. And guys, for me, I'm not a citizen of that country, but I'm just saying, if nuclear submarines have been sent to close to Russia, and we all know who President Putin is, he is not someone who will just sit around and watch as all of this unveils. So what do you think this leaves us as citizens of this world? Are we safe? What's gonna be happening? Is this now the beginning of the end? Are we already in World War III? What's happening? And guys, at the same time, tell me, there's so many wars happening in the world. Like there is the famous Russia and Ukraine war, which I think is the main cause of President Trump, sending all these submarines, nuclear submarines. You guys, submarines are one thing, but nuclear submarines, those are dangerous. So I think the war in Ukraine and Russia is the main cause of all of this. But once you hear the word nuclear, it doesn't now affect 2 nations alone. Once you hear that word nuclear, just know the whole world is at risk. Because from what I understand, from what I know, from the research I've done, there is very few places in the world that won't be affected in case a full nuclear war starts, especially between America and Russia. Remember, those are the 2 nations with the highest number of nuclear warheads. Russia has about 5,800, then America also has about 5,300, thereabout. Those are estimates, but I think I'm very close to the exact number. So if those 2 countries end up in a nuclear war, then be assured that the whole world is gonna be engaged in this. Because it's very dangerous. Because once those, let's say if even a half of those 10,000 nuclear warheads are used in this war, then I think the world will never be the same again. Because those things destroy. You see, like how the dark my clouds are at the moment. This is not even a quarter of what the world will look like. How dark the world will look like in case we had like a major nuclear fight between especially those 2 superpowers. And mind you, there are nations like Russia, there are nations like North Korea, there are nations like Britain, there are nations like many nations also that have these nuclear capabilities. So whenever a nuclear war starts, there are interests from many other countries, so it won't just be between these 2 countries. So guys, tell me, what do you think is happening? Are we safe? Because from Trump's perspective, he's trying to protect the American people, and I understand him fully, because that's the job of a president, to protect your citizens. Also, Putin, from what I've seen, Putin is also someone who wants to protect also the interests of his citizens. What do you think will be his response? Because I don't think he'll just sit back and just watch. Because also this week President Trump has also offered, like he had given a 50-day for Putin to come to the negotiating table, for them to have a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine. But then I think something happened. He has reduced the days to 10 days. So what do you think is going to be happening in the next 10 days? Do you think Putin is one of these people who will, because I've heard, from what I've heard, Putin is not someone who will listen unless there is a pressure applied. That's what the leaders are saying, especially leaders from these big countries. So tell me, do you think that's correct? Do you think Putin is now going to respond in a much positive way? Yeah, because also don't forget, Putin also has his perspective of this war. He also has his demands, which I don't fully know the details, but I think those who are at the negotiating tables, they know. So I don't know. What do you think, guys? What do you think is happening? Because there are so many wars in the world that are happening at the moment, and there is the Palestine and Israel war. There's also the Israel and the Iran war. I'm happy that that ended. I hope, I heard that Trump was the one who, you know, negotiated all of that war and, you know, came to terms. So the Palestine and Israel war is the worst of all, because there are so many people suffering in that part of the world. There are so many people suffering. I've seen kids starve to death. It's very unfortunate. So there is that war. There is also a war in Congo. Also, many people have been displaced, many people have died. So it's a very harsh world that we are living in. Also, there is a war in, I think, India. I think the borders of India. Yeah, India and Pakistan. There is also a war over there. There is also a war in Thailand. Why must the world be in constant war? Why wouldn't human beings, I mean, we are civilized, we are not our forefathers, we are civilized human beings. Why won't we have solutions to these wars? So guys, tell me what you think. Anyways, guys, I'm here, it's a weekend, I'm just chilled in this field. I just like to sit in such spaces and, you know, have some fresh air, fresh everything, you know. Yeah, there are cows grazing to this side, and then there is a lot of construction also happening behind me. So guys, tell me, what do you think is happening in the world? Why do you think there is always constant war? Because I think there must be some people who are gaining from all of these wars. There can't just be wars happening and there are not people gaining from these wars. There must be people gaining from all of these wars, especially people who manufacture and export this. Look at this nice cow. People who manufacture and sell these weapons, they must be the people who are gaining from this war, because it can't just be that there's always a constant war. People are dying and there are no solutions. Then there must be someone behind these wars. Anyways, I don't want to start theories. So guys, let's hope that things are not gonna be escalating also in the next few days, because the last thing we want to see is a war between Russia and America, especially a full-out war, because there could be proxy wars, which is different from a direct war. Because I promise you, if we had like a direct war between the States and Russia, the world will never be the same again. Most of the world, more than 3/4 of the world population might end up being, you know, wiped away from the face of this world. So yeah, let's hope things are not gonna be escalating. Let's hope that Putin and Trump are gonna be coming to a solution real soon, because I know these two men are the strongest people in the world. I know Trump is a very strong person. He is someone who makes things happen. At the same time, I understand that Putin is also a very, 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 very strong person in the world. He is also someone who makes things happen. That's why he's been president for a long time, such a long time. Being a president of a big country like Russia for such a long time is not something that can be done by a weak person. So he is also a very strong person. Let's hope that these two gentlemen are gonna be coming with solutions. It's funny how a few leaders in the world dictate things that affect billions. Imagine, guys, the world has like 210 countries, thereabout 200 countries, and within these countries, so it means there are like 200 heads of states of these countries. And let's be honest, among these countries, only about 30 countries truly matter in the world. Not like matter, but they are the ones who like do things that affect the world, which is mostly Russia, US, China, UK, France, Germany, Italy, places also like Singapore, the Saudi Arabians, the Brazils, the Saudis, the Qatars, the UAEs, very few countries. So I think among these very few countries, the heads of states of these few countries that I've named, there could be more, especially in Europe, Germany, Italy, Japan also. Let's not forget Japan, very influential in the world. So heads of these countries, together with a few people who own the technology. So that will be people like Elon Musk, because he owns an internet provider, the Starlink. He also owns a social platform, because propaganda is very important. He who controls the news that people digest is very important in the world. So people like him also, people like the Jeff Bezos of Amazon, people like the owners of those billionaires, you know them. And these people, if we counted these people, there will be less than 100. But these people make rules that definitely affect billions and billions of people. So why wouldn't this about 100 people in the world, why wouldn't they sit together? Because these are people who have been majorly to the same schools, because the elite schools in the world are not very many. Very few countries, very few universities in the world, and that are the level where these the parents of these people would have taken them to study. So these people will be friends? Because I know the political space is a very tiny place. People, whether you are you are to the right or to the left, these people, at the end of the day, these people are friends. It doesn't matter whether you are to the right wing or to the left wing. At the end of the day, these people are majorly are friends. So apart from the billionaires and the politicians, also there will be people like the intelligence services, like the CIA, the Mossad, the one from Russia, which is called the Wagner Group, the one from Britain, the MI16. So these people, the leaders of these organizations, also charity organizations, so all of these people combined, there are people who have gone to, maybe they have met even in schools. Because I've had like a daughter of the of President Xi, the president of China. I've heard that he lives and studies in America. So this shows you that these people have majorly gone to the same schools. Then why wouldn't they sit together and come up with solutions which affect the world in a positive way, not in a negative way, the way the world is at the moment? I guess we'll never know, because we are not in the same circle with those people. But at the same time, I'm very optimistic. I hope that things will head in a good direction. Yeah, because I'm a young person. The last thing I want is to die when I'm in my 20s. Just because some old people in the world decided that they have to kill us. Yeah. Anyways, guys, for those watching this for the first time, my name is Brian Oseko. I'm a YouTuber, not a World War III expert, but when such matters happen, they affect all of us. So it's only fair that I can talk about such issues. Anyways, guys, I'm now headed back to the house because I just came out here to get some fresh air, but now I'm tired. I'm now headed back to the house to also get like some lunch because I'm also very hungry. I hope you guys that are always watching me are having a nice weekend and everything is going well at your side. So for now, bye. I didn't really have a lot to say today, just discussing about the world. And yeah, bye.